So today we're going to be looking at electrolysis. So when you look at the word electrolysis, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Electricity. Yes, because this is the process by which an electric current passes through a substance. And the substance that allows that electricity to pass through it is called an electrolyte. Okay? And this is a chemical change. A chemical change is one in which the substance loses or it can gain an electron. That's electrolysis, people. So during electrolysis, okay, ions are going to be moving. Ions, people, ions, okay? Not atoms. Ions move, and ions, they're going to become atoms, okay? Now, positively charged ions, which are called the cations, okay, they move to the negative electrode, which is the cathode. Okay, easy way to remember the cations starts with cation, starts with C, and it is attracted to the cathode, which is negative. Next is the negatively charged ions, which is the anions. They're going to be moving to the positive electrode, and the positive electrode is the anode. See, anion starts with A, and it is also attracted to the anode. The cathode, summarizing, positive ions, okay, and they are going to be gaining electrons by reduction. Remember we said gain of electrons is reduction, okay? Well, this is going to be happening at our cathode. Okay, the positive ions will be gaining electrons at the cathode. With the anode, at the anode, the negative ions, they're going to be giving up or losing electrons. Remember, lose of electron is called oxidation. So we have some definitions that are very important to us. The first one is the electrolyte. Okay, this is your electrolyte here. All right, the electrolyte is your solution. All right, the substance which is decomposed, that's your definition. Next one is your electrodes. Okay, so these are your electrodes which allow electricity to enter and leave the electrolyte. Okay, this is your electrodes. And your electrodes are normally made up of graphite. All right, graphite, not diamond. And in the purification of copper, it can be made up of copper. But they will have to tell you if it's copper. Okay. Next one is the cathode. So you have cathode, and this is the negatively charged electrode, and it is attracted to the positive cation. And the cathode is the shorter stick. We're going to see that shortly. And then you have the anode over here, which is the positive electrode, which attracts the anions. The anions, okay, which have a negative charge. So we have our electrolysis diagram, and in this diagram you have a battery source. In your battery source you see two sticks. You see a long one and you see a short one. The longest stick, all right, where you see the longest stick, at the end of it you're going to always find what you call the anode. Okay, so at the end of your longest stick you're going to find your anode. And your anode, we know, has a what charge? It has a positive charge. Good. And then you have your shorter stick, all right, which is going to be the negative, all right, is going to be your negative. At the end of it, you're going to find which electrode, the cathode. Good. Now, all right, now we need to show the pathway that electricity will travel. Electricity always travels from anode to cathode. So hence my arrows are going up from my anode, all right, and it is coming down towards the cathode. The next thing is you also need to indicate your electrolyte, which is your solution. That solution part is going to be called the electrolyte. The electrolyte is a substance which is decomposed, which allows electricity to pass through it. So for a substance to conduct electricity, it must either have electrons which are free to move about or ions which are free to move about. Okay, so within electrolysis, what we are looking at what we are looking at are ions. Ions are able to move during electrolysis, and this can happen when a substance is melted. When it's melted, we see that it's in its molten form, or when it is in a solution. Okay, so these are the conditions in which the ions are going to be able to move. Again, for electricity to happen, for electrolysis to happen, you are going to need those ions to move. In a solid form, remember there's no movement because those particles are too close together, so no electricity will happen in a solid. However, when we melt it, electricity will pass through because the ions are free to move. Again, no electricity is happening in a solid form. However, we add water when we add water to the substance, the ions are now free to move and electricity is conducted. Electrolysis can happen. So now we're going to label the diagram. Okay, I know you know how to label this. A is going to be the power source, battery. Very good. B is the electrolyte. You guys are so smart. C is the cathode. Yes, shortest step. Yep. D is the anode. Good job.